All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just kind of reflecting on what we talked about. For just tuning in, you recently missed our WWE Monday Night Raw review, but don't worry, you can catch it on the GSMC Wrestling Laureate playlist on YouTube, so make sure you check that out. So we're going to dive into our WWE NXT preview, but before we move on forward into that, I want to remind you guys to always use the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Give me your questions. Give me some things that you guys want to ponder about in terms of wrestling. Give me your predictions. You guys can host the show as well. This is ultimately, ran by the GSMC Sports Network, but we're wrestling fans. Wrestling fans, we kind of thrive on different perspectives in terms of, the subject matter. Obviously, if you keep agreeing with the same guy, conversations or even the podcast can't really be that entertaining. So definitely we love audience engagement 1,010%. Don't be afraid to send a chat. There is no wrong answers. There is no you can say, hey, I love The Rock, like that's cool, and I'll be like, dude, that's awesome. Like I like them, the Tooth Fairy. I'm just kidding. No, but no, it was a good movie. It was a good movie. So yeah, make sure you like and subscribe to the show. This really, honestly, really does help the show, guys. Just put your questions on the top. So don't be afraid to hit that GSMCsports.net. You hit the tips and donations link. Tell me what's said. Show me what's said. All right. So let's go ahead and move on. We're going to talk about our WWE NXT preview. This is the final stop before Battlegrounds. So this is going to have a lot of fallout from the last couple of weeks of the NXT, brand shows. A lot of Trick Williams, probably a lot of Lola Vice, a lot of Shayna Baszler, just a lot of, we have Damon Kemp is going to fight Tony D'Angelo for the Heritage Cup. The family right now has control of the cup, which is, Solamente basically on, the Don, Tony D'Angelo. Nothing against Stacks or anything like that, but Tony D'Angelo, he's just the man. He's just the man. I liked how he came so close to beating Ilya Dragunov for that WWE NXT World Heavyweight Championship match at Stand and Deliver in April. I feel like Tony D'Angelo is going to win. I wouldn't see any reason why, Damon Kemp, unless they're because the North Quarter Catch Crew without Drew Gulak, it's not the same. It's different. Maybe perhaps we see someone step up and help out the no quarter catch crew, but that's a big ass maybe. Like I said, I have not checked social media. I have no idea what has happened. Maybe that did happen. Maybe it didn't. Maybe I sound like a complete idiot right now. But I just feel like they need guidance. They do need guidance. Losing Drew Gulak wasn't good. Definitely, not at all. But his contract did expire. He wasn't really released from the WWE. They just never really, signed another contract. You can't really, blame them for that. Out with the old, in with the new. When you're trying to promote new superstars, you have to ultimately kind of let go of some of the, just some of the old guys. Like Drew Gulak was there and he wrestled here and there, but he was more or less kind of like the mouth. He was the promoter and stuff like that. And I don't know. I feel like Triple H or Paul Levesque or no Shawn Michaels because he's the head of creative in NXT. He's gonna try to find someone to replace that Drew Gulak role within the No Quarter Catch crew because that team's good. Charlie Dempsey, obviously you have Kemp, and I forgot the other guy's name. But these are talented individuals. Like when Drew Gulak was representing them, they were kind of like a prominent storyline on WWE NXT week in and week out. So I just feel like they need that other person. I feel like if they don't get that other person, these three superstars would probably kind of, their careers would maybe potentially go down the toilet because they were once Heritage Cup champions. They lost it to Tony D'Angelo and the family. So it should be interesting to kind of see how that all plays out tonight. Next, we see Thea Hill will finally get her hands on Jasmine Nix throughout the week. Thea Hill has been getting dragged through the mud with Jasmine Nix, JC Jane, breaking her nose and being through surgery and stuff like that. Jasmine Nix's best friend, former best friend they were with former best friends with Thea Hill, but they used Thea. So it's gonna be it's. I feel like Thea Hale is kind of like a stick of dynamite. Like, you know what I mean? Like dynamite comes in small packages, but once when she gets going, she can definitely be up there in terms of the high competitors on the mid card, potentially maybe on the main card. Maybe she could if she gets really, really pissed off, she can use that rage to kind of beat someone like Roxanne Perez. But let's see if she holds on to the championship after, NXT Battleground. So my prediction, I probably see out of all this, I could probably see Thea Hale winning this match. I know right now they kind of have a, that thing that like Chase U Civil War going on with the whole Rich Holland thing and stuff like that. Could be highly distracting. So I know it should be interesting. Now we're gonna get an inside look at Lola Vice and Shayna Baszler's NXT Underground match. Should be pretty awesome. It's not that I'm not a fan of it. It's just that I'm not used to seeing it, especially within the WWE kind of, ring with no ropes or anything like that. So obviously it's taking Battleground is taking place at the UFC Apex Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. So it should be interesting. Should be pretty cool to kind of see what Lola Vice has in store, because Shayna Baszler, she has such a great MMA and martial arts background and everything like that. UFC. She's been with the WWE for the longest time. I just don't feel like, I don't know, Lola Vice, she's going to have to do something tonight to get the momentum on her side, because Shayna Baszler is going to rip her head off. She's going to kill her. I could imagine maybe Lola Vice coming out, maybe targeting a knee or targeting like an elbow or something like that. And, you have the guy, the announcer on NXT, be like, oh, she has a match on, Battleground. She's softening her up. So that's the only reason perhaps maybe Lola Vice might even have a spitballs chance against Shayna Baszler. Next, we're going to get into Ethan Page. Will explain his attack on Trick Williams. Huge shocker, If it wasn't enough to see Jordynne Grace on WWE soil, you saw Ethan Page, former AEW superstar, attack Trick Williams. And are they going to fight at NXT Battleground? Perhaps. Right now, the main event has not been announced yet. So this probably could be, where Trick Williams comes out, maybe confronts Ethan Page and be like, hey, if you want a piece of me so bad, I'll fight you at NXT Battleground. And he'd be like, oh, put on that championship on the line. And he's like, to get my hands on you, you got it. Anything. Like, you know what I mean? So I think something's going to happen with that. So it should be pretty interesting. We will see more of Sexy Red, of course, within the WWE NXT from here on out. You're going to hear words from Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez is going to talk either backstage with the interview, or she's going to be in Ava's office, or she's going to, come out and watch Jordynne Grace's match. Jordynne Grace is set to make her, the first time ever, a TNA Knockouts World Champion will step foot into a WWE ring. Jordynne Grace against Stevie Turner. Stevie Turner kind of, I don't really think she has a chance against the best wrestler in the world. Jordynne Grace has been number one on my women's power rankings for 2 weeks running. So definitely think it's crazy. Definitely think everything. I can imagine as soon as the match ends, you're going to see Roxanne Perez come out, hold her title. Then you're going to have Jordynne Grace holding their title. They're going to be face to face, before, so, that's honestly, that's how I think NXT will end. It'll be kind of interesting to see if they let the girls be the main event, Roxanne Perez and Jordynne Grace. The best thing about WWE NXT has been their women's division. It's kind of made them prominent throughout. I think I remember, ever since I started watching WWE NXT, I was like, man, they're really putting a really emphasis on the women, which is awesome, which is great. And nothing's falls short of spectacular, having the TNA Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace, and of course the always scrappy, the always determined Roxanne Perez. So yeah. All right, so that was my WWE NXT preview. Don't go anywhere. We're going to get into Battleground. Back to back, we're going to talk about WWE NXT. So don't go anywhere.